So let's just dive in here. Ohio State, they went into Beaver Stadium to face off against, what, the number one? Third team in the country. Yeah, Penn State was up there. This was one of those games that had serious playoff implications. I mean, you're in the Big Ten late in the season, both teams basically gunning for that top spot, right? This was huge. First off, got to talk about Ohio State's defense. They showed up to play. And, I mean, they were lights out. Penn State, they didn't score an offensive touchdown the whole game. Like, just let that sink in, okay? The only time Penn State got into the end zone was off a pick six early in the game, right after Will Howard threw an interception. And that was like the one mistake he really had all game. But after that, dude settled in, and Ohio State's defense just, I don't know, man. They just clamped down. What an awesome performance by them. That front line, they were relentless. They weren't giving Drew Allar any time. He looked, I guess, rattled is the right word, just didn't look comfortable. And every time Penn State kind of started to drive, that Ohio State defense was right there. I mean, late in the game, Penn State had a chance at the goal line, and then Ohio State came up with this huge stop. Those kind of plays, that's what separates good teams from great teams. And if we're talking about Penn State, I mean, look, this wasn't just one bad day. This is kind of becoming a pattern. Let's talk about Drew Allar. Penn State's got this young, talented kid, right? And he's shown some real flashes. But today, man, he just couldn't get it done. Only 146 yards. That's it for a game this big against Ohio State. That's just not going to cut it. Now, I'm not putting all the blame on him. He's still young, and yeah, there's plenty of potential there. But today, he looked rattled, couldn't get comfortable at all. And that's the thing with a young quarterback. You're going to see those growing pains, like especially against a top defense like Ohio State's. But when you're in a game like this, you need your QB to step up, and he just couldn't find his rhythm. And it wasn't just him. The whole offense honestly looked flat. No rhythm, no momentum. They couldn't get the run game going, which made things even tougher for Allar. They just looked like they were out of gas by the end of the game. They had nothing left. And that's got to be rough for fans to watch, especially at home, in a game where they needed to make a statement. So what does this all mean for Ohio State? Big picture, Ohio State's in a strong spot right now at 7-1. This win, it's a major confidence booster, no question. And it's not just about the Big Ten. Fans expect this team to go the distance. With a defense like they showed here, they're not just playoff contenders. They've got a shot to go deep. If they keep up that level on defense, they could really make a run. They look that good. Now, it's not going to be easy. They've still got Indiana on the schedule and Michigan too. Those are some real challenges, but if they can keep that defense locked in, they're a serious threat.
All right. So definitely have to talk about James Franklin. I know it's one of those tough conversations to have, especially with like college head coaches and all that. But I mean, you got to look at how things are right now with them and just the way that they have played teams like Ohio State over the years. I know he's done a lot for this program. He's brought in top recruits, kept Penn State competitive in the Big Ten. And yeah, he's had some big wins. But his record against Ohio State, it's rough. He's 1-10 now. That's tough to swallow. And if you're a Penn State fan, I know you're feeling it. Year after year, it's the same story when it comes to the big games. Sure, Franklin does well against the mid-tier teams, and he's taken Penn State to some New Year's Six bowls. But when it comes to Ohio State and honestly the other playoff caliber teams, he just can't seem to get over that hump. Like, there's a point where, look, something's got to change. It's tough to lead a program like this, but in the Big Ten, beating Ohio State isn't just a nice to have, it's a must if you want to be taken seriously. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering if Penn State still have a shot at the playoffs, and the answer is actually, yeah, they do. Like this year with the new 12-team format, their playoff hopes are still alive, even after the loss to Ohio State. So here's how it works. Penn State is sitting at 7-1, and unlike before, it's not just about being in the top four anymore. This new setup opens it up to 12 teams total, which means we're looking at the 5 highest-ranked conference champions, along with the next 7 top-ranked teams overall. This format change is huge for teams like Penn State.
in previous years, a loss to Ohio State might have ended their playoff chances right there. But now, as long as they keep winning, they can still make their case. It gives them a path to get in if they stay competitive and show they can finish strong, even if they're not sitting at the very top. So, yeah, there's still hope, and this season isn't over for them yet. But we'll see how they play from here on out, and hopefully they can play well enough to get themselves into the playoffs.